Guys, it's Katrina. In the world of technology, whenever someone thinks they have a particular condition, they search it up on the internet to see if they have it. I have been clinically diagnosed with both autism and ADHD, and in today's video, I'm going to take an online autism test to see how accurate it is or if it's based on stereotypes. The first test. I'm now going to do the autism screening questionnaire on the psychologytools.com. This child stands out as different from other children of his or her age in the following way. Is old-fashioned or precocious? I was never old-fashioned, so I'll say no. Is regarded an eccentric professor by the other children. I wasn't eccentric when I was little, so I'll disagree. Lives somewhat in a world of his or her own restricted idiosyncratic intellectual interests. I would agree with that one. Because that was me when I was little. Accumulates facts on certain subjects, good rote memory, but does not really understand the meaning. I did accumulate facts when I was little, but I understood the meaning. I'll put in somewhat. Has literal understanding of ambiguous and metaphorical language. That clearly would have been me when I was little because I still experience this now, so I'll put in yes. Has a deviant style of communication with a formal, fussy, old-fashioned or robot-like language. I do talk in a robotic voice, but I've never been too formal, I don't think. I'm sometimes quite formal. I've never been old-fashioned. I'll put that in the middle. Invents idiosyncratic words and expressions. I don't invent words, so I'll disagree. Has a different voice or speech. I do sometimes talk in a robotic or voice or really loudly without realizing, so I'm going to agree. Expresses sounds involuntarily, clears throat, grunts, smacks, cries or screams. I do sometimes get this. I'll put it in the middle. Is surprisingly good at some things and surprisingly poor at others. I think I do, because when I was in school, my marks weren't very good, but I have good memory and good creativity, so I'll agree. Uses language freely, but fails to make adjustment to fit social context or the needs of different listeners. I'm not sure about when I was little, but when I'm older, I do adjust my language depending on who I'm talking to. I'll put that in the middle. Lacks empathy. People think autistic people lack empathy, but we actually have intense empathy, so I'm going to disagree. Makes naive and embarrassing remarks. It's hard to say. I wouldn't say I make embarrassing remarks. Naive, maybe? I'll put it in the middle. Has a deviant style of gaze. When I was little, I avoided eye contact, but now I do make eye contact. So I'll put in yes, because this is about a child. Wishes to be sociable, but fails to make relationships with peers. I do enjoy social situations, but I'm not very good at it, so I'll put in agree. No, I'll put in the middle, because I can make friends. Can be with other children, but only on his or her terms. I think I agree with that one. It's hard to say when I was little, but now I'm happy to make friends with most people. I don't know, I'll put it in the middle. Lacks best friend. I agree with this one because I don't often have a best friend. Lacks common sense. I do have common sense, so I'm going to disagree. Is poor at games, no idea of cooperating in a team, scores own goals. I do understand the rules of sport. It's hard to say when I was little, but I'm going to disagree. Has clumsy, ill-coordinated, ungainly, awkward movements or gestures. I do walk awkwardly. I'm not clumsy or uncoordinated, more so when I was little, so I'll put it in the middle. Has involuntary face or body movements. I'm not a stimmer, but it's possible that I've had involuntary faces, so I'll put it in the middle. Has difficulties in completing simple daily activities because of compulsory repetition of certain actions or thoughts. I don't have difficulty taking part in activities, but I do like routine, so I'll put it in the middle. Actually, no, this isn't really about routine. It's more about repetitiveness. I'll put in disagree. Has special routines, insists on no change. Yes, this is me. I do like routine, so I'll put in agree. Shows idiosyncratic attachment to objects. That's not me. I don't have abnormal connection to objects, so more so when I was little. I'll put that in the middle. Is bullied by other children. I have been bullied before, so I'll put in agree. Has markedly unusual facial expression. I don't think so. Like, sometimes my facial expression doesn't match how I actually feel. I'll put it in the middle. Has markedly unusual posture. It's not so much my posture, it's more me walking awkwardly, so I'll put it in the middle. Now I'll see my score. It says I'm a 28 out of possible 54, and scores of 13 or above may indicate autism spectrum symptoms. So I am quite autistic. I'm like in the middle according to this particular test. The second test. I'm now doing the test on PsycCentral.com. I like to do things the same way. That's most of the time because I like routine. I would rather hang out alone rather than go to a party with friends. Absolutely not, because I'm an extrovert and I like big parties. I tend to notice small details that others don't. I won't say I do, I'll put in some of the time. When I'm reading a story, I have a hard time imagining what the characters might look like or figuring out their intentions. I disagree with this one because I'm good at it. I find myself drawn more strongly to people than to things or solidarity activities, including video games. I agree with that one because I like people. I enjoy social gatherings and or find social situations easy. I enjoy them, but I'm not very good, so I'll put it in some of the time. On many occasions, I've been told what I've said is impolite, even though I think I'm being polite. I sometimes have a cold voice when I actually mean well, so I'll put in some of the time. I frequently find it hard to keep a conversation going. I have experienced this, I'll put in some of the time. I find it difficult to imagine what it would be like to be someone else. I'm good at this, I'll put in never. I focus more on the whole picture rather than the small details. That's not me because I focus more on the small things than the big picture. I tend to have very strong interests and get upset if I can't pursue them. I don't really have special interests, so I'll put in never. When I talk, it isn't always easy for others to get a word in. I think other people understand me. When someone is talking to me, I find it easy to read between the lines. I'm not good at this, so I'll put in never. I find it easy to understand what someone is thinking or feeling just by looking at their face. I disagree with this one because I'm not very good at nonverbal communication. I often notice small sounds when others don't. I disagree with this one because sound isn't a problem for me. Numbers, dates, or strings of information fascinate me. I disagree with this one because I don't collect such information. I can easily recognize patterns in things all the time. I think I'm good at this. I'll put in most of the time. New situations make me anxious and nervous. I wouldn't say so. New situations don't make me anxious. I prefer reading books about non-fiction subjects like dinosaurs. I prefer fiction over non-fiction, so I'm going to disagree. I find it hard to figure out people's intentions. I'm not very good at this, so I'll put in most of the time. Now, getting the results, which is a 12 out of 14. Results of your autism screening quiz. Scoring in this range means it may be a good idea to monitor your symptoms and keep track of the severity of these behaviours and when they are present. So, according to this quiz, I am autistic. Overall, I think these quizzes were pretty accurate. Not many stereotypes. It was more based on the present than when you were little, since my autism when I was little is different from what I'm like now. So overall, I think these quizzes were okay. They're not actually diagnostic. If you do want to get a diagnosis, you should see a professional. I think self-diagnosing is okay, but it should come secondary to an actual diagnosis if you can't access it for whatever reason. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other social media, which is linked below.